Make something else
Look like a banker.
Hey, he did finance, right?
How's it feel to be back?
Feels great. You know, it's no place like home. Always very warm reception, and I step back and it feels like I never left.
And then, obviously you've been gone for a while. Did you ever imagine that you could be coming back and having a success here?
To be honest, I was so naive about the whole college process, and I think sometimes I just blessed the innocent. I just didn't know and had no clue what a just wonderful journey I was in. That was in store for me, and like the older I get, the more time passes, just the more I realize that, and just beating up with the guys again, and every fan interaction that I have just reminds me of just like, wow, like what a truly lucky person you are to have been able to have a place in this university program.
How was the news given to you that they wanted to retire a number? What was your first initial reaction to it?
So Coach called me up and he said, "Hey, Coach." He calls me, so we talk, and so it wasn't anything. I wasn't alarmed or anything. So when I saw him, okay, like, Coach, what's up? Yeah, we chatted for a little bit. He said, I'm calling because they wanted me to tell you that they're retiring your number, and when he told me, I just kind of let it linger a little bit, and to be honest, it still hasn't quite settled in. Not yet. I've gauged it more from people's reaction to, so it's really kind of marinated for the past few months, and it's a cool thing, man. It's a cool thing. My family's here. We just toured the practice facility, and now I'm seeing that. I've been there. I've obviously walked through it, but now I'm really like soaking in the legacies, going in on both the men's and women's side, looking at all the numbers and all the pictures, and being like, man, what a special basketball powerhouse for just men and women, just to be so highly regarded, and just to have the wealth of history and to be part of that, just makes me well up on the inside.
Emeka, what you did on the court and in the classroom has been celebrated here for a long time. When you look back on your whole journey, is there anything you're most proud of accomplishing, or is there anything anything in regards to just how you carried yourself as a student athlete?
I'm just all of it. I was just true to myself. I really came into just a wonderful situation. My teammates, coaches, it was truly the perfect fit, and there are certain environments where people just thrive, and again, because I just didn't know anything, Coach obviously saw something in me, but he even too expressed after my freshman year, he said, "Hey, Mac, look, I played you way more than I expected this year, but you earned it, right?" So it's like two sides finding something synergistic, and just magic happened. And I did my thing, but it's more due to my environment, or my environment just had as much to do with it than just me and my own volition.
When you pull up to the stores, you walk in the campus, what goes through your mind? What are the memories that you first think of?
Just a general feel. It's interesting. So, so my wife's a Tar Heel, right? So we this past weekend, so my kids have been here several times. They've never been to Carolina, and always talked about. Me and my wife talk about how like the cultures kind of rival each other. And so I was down in Carolina for the first time since I played there, and just kind of as a civilian, and it didn't feel like home. Like I was like, oh, I'm walking. It's a lovely campus. It's great culture, great history, but as I was walking through it, like it's not the same when I walk through UConn. Walk through UConn, it's literally like walking through my own home. So whenever I even just when I crossed the state line, like it's like, okay, this is home.
20-something years later, when you do come back to Connecticut, you are walking the streets of Connecticut. Does there ever time go by where people don't recognize you?
People recognize me to this day, man. You know, like all around the world, Husky Nation goes far and wide. You know, we took a trip to Japan last spring, last March, and we ran into some some Yukon Husky fans. But you know, I'm in New York. Husky fans galore, and it's a really endearing thing. You know, it's not anything pervasive. It's everybody sharing a special moment. We sit there, we have a moment. You know, we express appreciation for each other, and you know, we go along our way. And I'm just very grateful for those vignettes.
Mike talked about your success as a student athlete. What does it mean? Because you're also getting honored here academically by going into the Business Hall of Fame.
It's an honor. You know, it's all happening at one time, man. It's you know, I'm humbled by it, and again, a lot of it I'm just processing. You know, I you know, it's an honor and a privilege just to, you know, be a Husky and be involved. And again, I was just true to myself, and I'm just happy that. Yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting place. It's a very special place, and you know, I'm just thankful for the praise, and I take it in stride.
Emeka, how does it feel to get back in the college game, but this time as an analyst?
It's interesting. You know, as an analyst now, I even more see how special my time was here, especially now with, you know, transfer portal and NIL portal. The NIL era. It's changed things a bit, but also to just really getting behind the scenes and seeing how the sausage is made, seeing what goes, how coaches run teams, what the ups and downs of what teams go through to make the tournament. You know, at the time I was on a heck of a team in a very powerful conference, so there's a lot of worry, you know, that we just didn't have to worry about. Hey, if we had a good regular season, if we checked the right boxes, we were in the tournament. The conference tournament was ancillary, but we had a good team, so we were in the conference tournament every single year, and we won it twice in the championship all 3 years, right? Not necessarily the case with a lot of teams, and it's been a very interesting dive, fleshing out the complete, like the other side of what, you know, college basketball can be as compared to what I had.
Sports become pretty chaotic, so transactional now. There's very few guys coming in, picking a major, and 4 years later leaving with a degree. Everyone moves around so much. What do you make of the chaotic nature of the sport? Has it lost any of its charm that you were used to?
It's different, and you know, I'll state, hey, I love players getting paid. You know, Shabazz Napier said once, hey, like he would leave games and could be hungry, and I resonate with that because when I was playing, if I wasn't careful, you know, we had our pregame meal, and I had to pack an extra meal because if I didn't, by the time I got home, there'd be nothing to eat, and that's not cool, right? So like I want players to get paid. I like that, but then on the other end, you know, there's something to being a college student, and there's just something to just that time of really bonding together. You know, like in like now through my conversations, you know, college athletes are living more the pro life, right? So now it's like, all right, we go to practice, we hop in our car, and we go our separate ways, right? That's how it was in the NBA. You know, when I was in school, you practice together, you eat together, you go back into your dorms, you had your roommates, and those who you didn't room with, your other teammates were right around the corner, and y'all just hung out, man. You just did college stuff, and that was fun. But that was my experience. I had an amazing experience. I understand that not everybody had that, and hey, if you'd rather trade that for dollar to, you know, potentially set up your family, in a better situation, I can't argue against that.
Have you been involved at all this year's current team or any of the last couple of years? Is it?
So this year, maybe just because I've been in the studio and on the road a little bit more, I haven't been around as much. I've been to New York when they play in the Garden a little bit more. Past few years, I was around a little bit more, but just because of like I'm just kind of on the road more, it's been a little bit more difficult.
What do you think of this year's team?
They're good. They're, you know, I don't even want to call it a bounce back here because last year it was a good squad, and you know I think there's a poetic quality to
Someone move.
Yeah, I think there was something to the last team who won back-to-back championship beat the current team to win back-to-back championship on the way to the championship themselves, so I feel that was an interesting game, but UConn back looking very, very, very good and very strong.
You talked a little bit about.
more so we can get them out. Thanks.
Sure. You talked a little bit about college basketball having changed, and your professional career is kind of marked by change as well. You played in the slower paced era, and then ended up in the era where kids are taking threes from half court. So how has your X's and O's relationship with the game kind of changed, especially in your current role?
Yeah, so funny. So I actually, the NBA has a coaching program, and I participated in that coaching program for that specific reason. I found myself watching the current game with my old eyes, so I was like, all right, man, I got to update, find out exactly what the exact current scheme. I mean, for the common layman, I was okay, but if I wanted to progress, I'm no, man, I got to understand every shot I'm seeing is not a bad shot, the way I'm saying it. So game is very different. Game is very different. Coaching schemes are very different. The athleticism of the players are very different. Analytics, people are getting a better understanding of analytics and how that sets in again, and it's still even evolving still. So, yeah, it's a very, very different game than what I was used to. And I literally took a class to have a self-study. It's all right, man, no, let me readjust my eyes and get a good view of what the heck I'm watching.
When Ben Gordon came back last year, he referenced that trip to New York to play Maryland, and that loss as really a point where you guys when Ben Gordon came back last year, he talked about the loss to Maryland when you guys were in Syracuse in
Okay,
the
yeah.
Elite Eight, and what a difference that made for the future. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, so that to be freshman and to get that far, I didn't know at the time, but valuable, invaluable experience, and something. And I remember that moment, we were in the huddle, and we were up 77-74, and coaches impassioned. It was during the timeout. And I'm like, and Shimon was next to him. I'm like, yo, man, what's up with Coach? He's like, hey, man, look at the score, 77-74. That was the score that we won that he won his first championship. We're just a little bit away from the Final Four. And I'm a freshman. Again, I told you I was naive, so that didn't really settle in, and game went how it went, and we lost. And the rest of that year, as I watched and saw, and paid closer attention to how the tournament evolved and what that meant. It's all right, man, fire's lit. I get it. We're gonna figure this out.
Thanks, Mick.
Thanks.
Thank you.